Comics and crypto, crypto and comics, collector's world in a digital age. Comics and crypto, crypto and comics, it's where the next billionaires will be made. Comics and crypto.
Wait a sec, it's the wrong channel. Hey, welcome, Sean. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Prez. Thanks for having me.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. Doing good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, just here, just messing around. You know, minted the drops, and yeah, really glad to be back after like 3 weeks or something disappearing. It's almost like, could get used to this, but nope, here we are.
It was a much needed break. It was a much needed break. I feel you.
Yeah. No, you're right. But yeah, guys, how you doing? Honestly, like my guest probably could introduce me. So, but yeah, this guy needs no introductions. Say Sean, one of the guys I still watched, even before I came on. So, to
I
YouTube.
appreciate
So,
that, Prez. Thank
welcome
you.
back. Welcome back. Yes.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun
Hey.
day. Fun conversation.
Yeah, so how's life? What you been up to? How's it going? Maybe for people that are watching this for the first time, I don't know if there's gonna be many, but maybe just tell me. We do NFTs and comic collecting in the digital age,
Yeah.
right? So
yeah,
and we
absolutely.
do like digital collectibles, all these mad stuff. If you haven't, it's on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Yes. But today, maybe, yeah. So tell me more about maybe yourself, and because I guess this is one of those interview styles I've been doing lately, which is like, okay, let's actually focus on you for a while. We're not gonna immediately talk about a drop, although we will shortly. But this,
Yeah, I
this,
mean,
this yeah. Tell me about yourself, like yeah, anything.
yeah. So I'm Sean, co-host of the Comics and Crypto podcast, along with Spencer and Kevin. Big shout out to my co-hosts; they're amazing guys. And yeah, so we've had our podcast for about 2 years now. It's kind of crazy to think that I met Spencer back in Prague about 5 years ago. We were backpacking in Europe, and I met him, and we became really good friends. And he started teaching me about crypto in like 2018, 19. No, wait, what was it? 2019, I think. 2019, he was teaching me about crypto, and I was teaching him about investing in comic books. So we really connected, and it was amazing because we were teaching each other about the digital and physical space, collecting space, because he's also teaching about NFTs, not just crypto.
Yeah.
And then about 6 months to a year later, we came across Vivi. And it was like, oh, this is all connecting the dots. I mean, we heard about first appearances. I saw NFT Pirates video about first appearances, and it all started to make sense. I'm like, oh, this makes total sense. This is my language. I get this. First appearances. I get it.
Yes.
And yeah. And then Kevin. So Kevin, I've known for about 10 years. Him and I are filmmakers out in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And I've known Kevin for a long time, and he has such an in-depth knowledge of pop culture and Star Wars and a lot of and Marvel and comic books. And we were on a road trip together, and that was when the Spider-Man collectible dropped on Vivi. And we started to notice that a lot of people didn't really understand the significance of Spider-Man, like how popular this character is worldwide, and how this collectible could be a really big deal, especially since it's the first Marvel collectible, the first appearance of Spider-Man. So we thought about, why don't we start a podcast? Comics and crypto. I know comics. Spencer knows crypto, and the running joke is Kevin doesn't know shit, which actually is ironic because he knows a lot of things. But that was kind of the irony behind it, right? Kind of the little joke behind it. But
yeah.
but we started the podcast just to help educate people, because that's literally the foundation of our podcast, is help people, is give our knowledge of the space so people can take that knowledge and run with it and learn themselves and DYOR, do your own research, because at the end of the day, it's important that everybody makes their own decisions, whether it's just collecting or investing. Everything costs money. Everything costs money, and so it's important to really think about the balance between the two, and what your goals are. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of our background. That was a lot.
No.
It's kind of crazy. What's really cool is that, over the past 2 years, people who were never collectors are now collecting. especially because of VV, DC,
Yeah, me.
Crypt Toys. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
And now people are collecting physical collectibles like yourself, and they're getting excited about it.
Yeah,
and they're understanding both sides, and that's what's fun. And that's what a lot of physical collectors don't really understand. And the digital side, that people who are collecting the digital side also are excited about the physical. They're not just like shunning the physical side. They're pumped about it. I mean, I met this guy at New York Comic Con last year, the year before the previous one. He said, Sean, I am 55 years old. I have never collected in my life, but I'm here now at Comic Con, and I've invested in about $100,000 worth of physical grails last year, and it all started because of VV. I'm like, whoa, that's amazing! That's amazing! That really turned my head and made me think, wow, this could really catch on in a big way, And that was that was the first. It was about a year and a half ago. So, yeah, VV, was kind of still a little bit more fresh on the mind back then. So, yeah, it was exciting to hear someone say that.
Yeah, and again, I'm sure you'll hear it, like, kind of impact you have with people. When you hear, like, let's say, when Mr. Squeebs came on my channel, it was like, yeah, Sean is my guy. I come to him for, like, okay, what's the real life counterpart value or whatever. What do you think about it? Because I guess, especially in this space, there's lots of dynamics at play, not just as the layer of the physical value, but I guess it is what it is. Like, people look up to you or whatever else. I've not had that too much as probably as you, but I guess it's just being like a public.
You're still modest, Prez.
Public figure. It's actually been insane for me. Like, you're making me blush. But yeah, this is not about me. Yeah. No, I think, it comes with it a level of responsibility. I was going to jump to that way down the line of this conversation, but I think it's just like, it's kind of weird. I've been like, yes, like the other day I've been quoted in the Discord that I said this, and I'm like, actually, I'm like, well, actually, that's not the case, or whatever. It's weird. It's strange. But it is what it is. You just have to be careful. I think it's almost like, I'm sure a lot of people would rather take a step back rather than keep pushing content or whatever, just because of, they're not sure themselves or whatever else. You know what I mean? But anyway, that took a turn. But I just yeah. But yeah, should we reveal some comics? I guess. What do we got?
Oh,
like,
cool. Oh yeah. Oh, sick. Yeah. Oh, you didn't reveal them yet? That's so awesome. I didn't do mine either.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. I'm just gonna do mine first, I guess.
Awesome.
I mean,
yeah, this is a great comic, man. This is a very rare, scarce comic from the golden age. There's only a couple hundred copies, blue labels on the CGC census. It's very scarce, and it's a very popular character. I mean, this is one of the more popular villains in comic book history. And these comics are very valuable, and they're very scarce in the physical space. And it was cool to see them make them pretty scarce in the digital side too. 3,500 editions, that's not a lot.
No. So I need to refresh this page. I think it's because the reveal button. Okay, it's not there. Yeah. So who's your favorite Riddler? Before I open one up.
My favorite Riddler
actor. Yeah.
Like for films or?
Well, good question.
I'm gonna go for let's if we're gonna go for films. I mean, it's pretty nostalgic for me as Jim Carrey.
Yes, exactly, and it kind of looks like him here, right? Almost.
Jim Carrey. Yeah.
It's
really
badass.
Cool. Although I did appreciate the latest version as well. It was a different take on the Riddler, which was really interesting.
Okay,
I'm excited for this. This is great.
Common Gang. I knew it. I called it myself. Common Gang. But I really appreciate the grading DC Comics. I know I keep saying it, but I really like it. I know what this one's gonna be, sadly. I believe.
It's interesting to me because right now DC
Epic,
Comics,
baby.
I feel like hey, you got an Epic?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. Nice, buddy. Congrats. That's great.
It'll be your turn now.
That's great. It's DC Comics in general, I feel like are very much undervalued right now,
Mm,
especially the Golden Age comics. Because Marvel had such a great decade of films and pop culture. People fell in love with these characters because of the films.
mm,
But DC unfortunately didn't really have the same track record with
mm,
films.
mm-hmm,
But I feel like I'm very, very optimistic with James Gunn. I think
mm-hmm,
he's an incredible director, a very talented artist, and he's a true leader that can help guide DC in the right direction.
mm.
I mean, I
Where,
remember I tweeted out like a year and a half ago that when is DC just going to give James Gunn $1 billion just to run the DC film department? And 6 months later, sure enough, it came to fruition, and I was like, yes, that was the most rewarding thing ever. I was so pumped for that. James Gunn's awesome, so I would say cautiously optimistic, but I'm very optimistic, especially if they're
yeah,
giving him a lot of control over the creative decisions. And I think that we're going to see a big change with DC, and especially how people view DC characters. So, very exciting times ahead, I think.
yeah, jumped around there a bit, but what about your comics? Have you revealed them yet? I don't know. Do you have them?
No, I have not. I mean, let's see here.
I want to see.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's
I'm
do it.
like, I'm like,
Let
you
me,
deserve a legendary now
let me.
coming on.
Oh, that's
Let's
awesome.
go.
Let's see. I'm gonna log in here. All right.
I'm
Sorry, guys, I wasn't prepared for this, but we're gonna get this going.
putting you under pressure.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do
We gotta
this.
reveal.
All
We
right.
gotta reveal. I don't know what you
Yeah.
guys got on stream, by the way. That chat. It's only a couple of us, but what did you guys get? Just comment below. Let me know what you guys got.
There we go. Okay. I'm gonna share this with you.
Mm. Yes, let's go.
All right. Here's the first one.
Okay,
Common Gang.
okay, okay. I love the uncommon. Like I have to buy one. From the
Oh, that
market.
was uncommon. Yeah.
Mm.
And last one.
Okay.
Common.
It's a common.
Oh,
Rip.
that was fun.
Yeah, massive rip. But
I wonder what these are going for in the market.
yeah, let's have a look. Hey, by the way, this is the last time we'll see this website, right? Like it's gone like
Yeah, that's right.
tomorrow. Well, we'll still see it, but like you know what I mean.
Look at
Like
that.
we can't.
Only 100 copies. That's it. And it's at 230 right now. Wow.
Is that legendary? Yeah, it's still
Only 100 copies. That is so scarce. That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, like, it's got everything. It's got scarcity. It's got popularity. You know, it's just. I guess the $20 makes a difference. You know, if we're going
Yeah.
if we're going
yeah.
unchained.
Yeah.
You know, it's money's tight right now. I guess you know what I mean for people. So
Right.
that might
Yeah.
be.
It's important to be a little conservative. It's interesting though too, because you see like on, I think what was it the other day on VV? It was 6,000 editions for. Oh no, that was this morning. There's 6,000 editions for the first appearance of the Blob, and that sold out.
Mm.
So if you think about it, I mean, 7 gems, 6,000, 3,500,
Similar.
20. It's a little bit more,
Similar
but
money. Yeah.
yeah. But this comic is just so much more significant. I mean, the floor for this comic, a 0.5 grade, is worth about $2,000.
Mm.
That's
know how?
a 0.5 like torn apart copy. You know,
Mm.
half the cover's missing.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those now, like where you go, well, physicals are looking like a good bet as well, but at the same time, like, just this platform, you know, it's, I don't know what's happening, but yeah, I mean, it's scarce right now. Things are scarce. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's not like things have been minting out, and I'm like, well, why? Do you think it's to do with the 2 per account that they have? I didn't really plan this on my questions sent to you. You know, it's just I'm
Yeah.
shooting the shit
So
with you.
you're saying why it's not sold out, or why?
Yeah,
more-
yeah. Do you think it's because of the limit on the account, or more? Again,
I
yeah.
think more people would probably buy. I mean, I would have bought a couple more if I had the opportunity to buy more. But at the same time, they're probably going to. I think they stop minting them or stop selling them at a certain point, so that
Yeah.
makes the comic even more scarce. So
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the way they're trying to create. I mean, my opinion at least, I don't know for sure, but I presume that they're probably trying to just, give an opportunity to people who are excited about it, who want to buy it, and then after that, they're just going to call it quits in terms of the minting. So it makes the comic even more scarce. So if less than 3,500 are minted, I mean, this makes this comic even more scarce. And this is a great one.
Yeah, it's
This
one
is a
of
great
those
comic.
where, like, I would love to own it because, even if the others were selling for a higher value in real life, but sometimes I just don't connect with some of the characters. I connect with this character,
Sure.
like, it's strange. It's strange, and I guess even the digital values don't always reflect. Yeah, man, this is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people probably just aren't really familiar with this comic and don't know its significance or value. But that being said, big reason why I've always been so excited about the digital comics is accessibility. That's something I'll continue to preach with digital collectibles is accessibility. There's such a barrier to entry for physical collectibles. It's very difficult to get your hands on this comic, especially
hmm,
worldwide. So having the opportunity to buy and sell this thing and hopefully trade in the future instantly worldwide is a real game changer. And there'll be opportunities to display these things. Hopefully, we know for Vivi they'll be able to display these in AR. But you know, DC, I'm not really sure if they have plans for that. I hope they do, because I think once people can enjoy them and display them in AR, when the technology catches up, that's really going to be a game changer. Because right now it's just they're on your phone, but when you can be able to display them and showcase your collection, and both in metaverses and also in real life, I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
absolutely. I mean, that's the thing as well, right? The metaverse is like um, the next frontier, but it's still being built by everybody, right? It's not
Totally.
like
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's not like okay, I won't get this, and we're totally derailing from the agenda ad, but it's fine. We're just gonna shoot the shit, yeah, um, I think even Cal, like I went. There was this meeting with Daniel Heyman and the executives, and I asked the question like, well, are cows going to appear in a metaverse somewhere, or are you guys building a game or whatever? And he was just like,
Yeah.
no, like not at the moment, because in the next 6 months they want to actually deliver self-custody and overdrive, which are big tasks already, and they're moving to Candy. So it's like,
Yeah.
that do that first, and then we can deliver more capabilities. But I guess at the end of the day, it's all about execution and getting it right the first time. And you've seen how the merch happened, right? It's
Yeah.
like okay, there was a massive buildup, and then the product wasn't up to standard, for example, right? And then
Mhm.
it just lowered, like, all the expectation and stuff. And I just, like, for me, I don't want that to happen for cows. I'd rather they wait until they're ready, before
Yeah.
any reveal. So
Yeah.
but as for comics, being in AR, I mean, like I said, I'm an open mind. Like, if it works, it works. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's a bit like mint numbers. Some people have strong opinions for and against it appearing, but at the end of the day, if people are willing to throw down money there, people vote with their money. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
and if AR works, and Apple brings a new technology in, and yeah, and the funny thing is, though, obviously, I haven't seen, apart from like Wilder World, or I guess Fortnite. I haven't seen a metaverse really like that. Even regular people have taken into. So yeah, we're in a stage where it's still slow, right? I mean, a lot of
Yeah. Yeah. The metaverse is something that's going to be 10, 20 years away. I think it's going to be a long time away.
I
But
can
AR is really going to be that transition, right? It's that transition from the physical and digital space, and then you'll end up going more digital. But we already are going more digital. I mean, even in our everyday lives. I mean, how many people actually carry cash with them anymore? Not many. You
no,
know, how many people carry their credit cards anymore? Not many.
no.
How many people send letters? Not many.
Mm,
So it makes sense that this stuff will catch on, over time as the technology catches up too. And I'd be curious because I feel like once the Apple Vision Pro is released, people will start to connect the dots more, and understand the importance of digital ownership in general.
Mhm.
And of course, we're going to see competitors. I mean, we've already heard that Samsung is
Yeah.
already releasing their devices, and they're already working on that. I think they're going to release devices in the next 6 to 12 months too, to
Mm.
compete with Apple. There's a lot of companies we probably have never even heard of that are creating unbelievable technology that's going to compete with Apple. So AR, it's only going to get better over time. I mean, the first generation of Apple Vision Pro, it's going to be bulky. The battery life's going to be low. But remember the first iPhone and where it's at now in 10 years. That's
Mhm.
crazy. It's crazy the leaps and bounds that it's made, and it's only going to get better. It's get smaller, cheaper. That's the biggest thing too, is that these things need to be cheaper. And that's going to change over time because worldwide adoption for AR technology isn't going to happen overnight. People aren't going to spend $3,000 on a pair of glasses, you know. But when they start becoming affordable, a couple $100s,
Mm.
and there's a lot of things that you can work around them, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be really fun.
Do you know if AR works at Vivi now on the mobile app? No, right? Probably on only on the app, right? Not on the web. Yeah.
Just on the app.
Because yeah, because I thought about that the other day. I was like, okay, someone asked me, is Candy's site gonna be, um, an app? Because I guess in Vivi it could definitely like go around, and there's some sort of 3D function in there. You know what I mean? Like right now, it looks PS3, agreed, but um it is there at least, you know what I mean, like you can play with
Totally.
it, you can shift
Yeah.
it. Comics as well, but comics, like, they haven't displayed comics yet, right? Like that time will come, but
Yeah. And
in
mid
a,
numbers. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we'll get but, like,
Yeah.
just to finish up, obviously, but for
Yeah.
Candy to actually build an app, I realize it's the app store fees at the end of the day, like Android App Store and Apple. Like, people would not want to. And do you think these guys will enable USDCN? It's like, no. So I think it is interesting. How are they going to build that? Unless, the thing I think about is, unless they go, okay, cows are going to be metaverse ready, but they'll also start to build the comics into AR, because those are you know the story driven collectibles and the comics. Those are the things that they can make into AR, which is like, takes dev work. You know what I mean? It takes time.
Yeah.
You mentioned mint numbers. I'll let you go into it. You're quite hot on that, so yeah, go.
Yeah. I mean, we're still seeing people pay premiums for mid numbers, you know, especially on VV.
Nuts.
You know,
Nuts.
it's the only way that you're going to be able to differentiate value, because these comics don't degrade over time. I
Mm.
mean, but to put it in simpler terms, we're seeing that in the physical space too. Graded comics, you know, essentially, like you look at this up here, I have it's a Lost Ronin. It's a 9.9 grade, and then here I was blessed enough to actually get a 10 of the Last Ronin. So this is a perfect
Nice.
10 grade of the Last
Wow.
Ronin. Yeah, and there's only about 20 copies in existence of this right now.
Are you flexing
And
now? Wow.
what it's more about bringing up a point. It's a slight flex because I'm just really proud of this. but also, I mean, like at the end of the day, the difference between a 9.9 and a 10, it's not a huge difference, but it is a huge difference, and people will pay a premium because of what the number,
It's in
because of the
gold as
number,
well. Yeah.
because it's 9.9 is also in gold, but it's about the number.
Hmm.
Same comic, relatively same look, but it's about the number, and that's what people pay the premium for. And that's why we're seeing that in the digital space too. And I think it's only grow over time, especially as the popularity and demand grows. Because we saw it back in 2021 with Vivi. People are paying astronomical numbers for sub 100s or for specialized mint numbers. But at the same time, you know, right now it's a lot. The demand isn't quite there, so we're
Mhm.
not seeing as big of a demand for the mint numbers. But they still are paying for a premium, just not with the numbers were like before. But I think that's going to change over time as the demand for digital collectibles grow.
Mhm. Yes, because yeah, right now obviously we're in the deep there. So, yeah, I was gonna say as well. Yeah, you're right. I think if they're see, the crazy thing is these products keep evolving. Obviously for DCNFT, like they have like actual, they wear and tear it. You know what I mean? Like they Photoshop it to wear and tear. Um, yeah, you're right. It doesn't degrade, but I guess, if you put it in a case like that, it won't ever degrade as well, right? It's unless unless I don't know, you go into a hot environment or I don't know something.
Yeah, I've seen high grade comics have a huge fade on the front, or like the cover is faded over time because it's been in the sun. So if they took that back out of the case and got it regraded, it would get probably a lower grade for that
Okay.
reason. So it definitely does happen.
Still okay. So yeah, don't expose your last Ronin into the sun, basically. Just
Yeah.
just to get that.
Yeah.
Um, but I was gonna say, obviously, so we've seen DC do that, and there are ideas like I said it the other day, like if they actually put one of one comics, like I'm talking like different creases, like and it falls within the rarity tiers, right? I don't know how much of a technological feat that would make, probably because I would imagine a lot of these. I was told it takes a lot of work, and I think
Yeah.
Mr. Ward was like, "Oh, we'll see DC's, maybe give us, a, you know, a creation process with some of these." But what am I trying to say? I guess if we had the way to for everything to be one of one, there was still an argument for mint numbers, in my opinion, just for the fact that if way back in the day we identified the first ones that come out the factory, like literally the first printed one, I think that would be the argument for mint hunters. It's like, okay, you know that would be the first one out the press, and I guess different platforms would have different variations of that, either the first minted on the blockchain or they actually give it an edition number on top. People do it in different ways, but it still represents the same thing almost, in my opinion. So yeah, and yeah, people just love. What can you say? Do you think people just love flexing and knowing they have the mid zero and the one? It's like it's one of
Absolutely.
those, right? Yeah,
Absolutely. So that's why I'm really hopeful. It sounds like they're going to bring mint numbers into the picture
yes,
at
it's in
DC.
candy already, so they will. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, I think it's really important for people, especially because I'm a huge fan of publishing mint years. I think those
me
are really
too, man.
special. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
me
are so
too.
special, so special. I actually had a really great guest on about 6 months to a year ago named Anthony, and Anthony's a
Yeah.
huge publishing mint. You know Anthony, yeah.
Yes, I know, Anthony.
Yes, you know Anthony. Yeah, and he is a huge collector in published mint years, and he has an astounding collection. I mean, he's got like Ultimate Fallout 4, 2011. He has Fantastic Four 1,
I
Fantastic Four
know.
5.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's amazing. And I think people, especially like for new collectors, for physical collectors that come into the space, that's something that they would understand immediately. In my opinion, at least. I've
Yeah.
talked to physical collectors and I talk to them about that. And they're like, oh, that's really cool. That's really
Mm.
cool. Or like Star Wars, 1977 is a significant year. And that's something that Star Wars collectors will understand immediately.
Mhm. Wow, publishing year, man. Yeah, that was a cool deal because I remember actually I remember doing a deal with him for I was it Doctor Doom, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's for his partner statue for his Kang publishing year, and you were like at the end of it, you're like, Sean, where is it? And you were like, I'm just hanging on to this, buddy. I'm just looking at it. You're just soaking it in. I was like, Sean, where is our stuff?
I
Remember
was so
that?
excited for you guys. That was such a cool, yeah, I was so good to
Yeah.
help out. That was fun.
So I still
Yeah.
got that, and yeah, I think it is what it is. I think different platforms would have different flavors that will make things special. Whatever is deemed like. So yeah, publishing year mints definitely. I understand that, and it's still today. People still snipe that, and they're still able to resell it for way more. Like like
Totally.
if you wanted to, you'll find the buyer ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the other reason
Um,
why I'm really excited for having the opportunity to be able to search for mint numbers that you want, but not just search for them in the marketplace, but search for them in general on the app, because then you can make offers.
mhm.
Making offers for specific mint numbers is going to be a big deal. Whether you can just, whether it's a financial offer or even a trade, that's going to be a really big deal for collectors. And because people are already spending hours of their time trying to find this stuff. I can imagine Anthony, man. He like, how do you find it? You just have to be fortunate to find it online
Mhm.
and be able to buy it. That's crazy. That's
Mhm.
really difficult. And it goes with everyone who's searching for specific numbers.
Mm. I think you're cutting up a bit, but no, I think especially Anthony, like for what he wanted to collect, he really went ham. Like that is his baby, like publishing year mint.
Yeah,
So and if you ask around, it's like a one of one. Like where else can you get it? You can't get it anywhere else. He's got it.
right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
um, I know I have a lot to get through that I want to get through as well. So I think I'm gonna have to start whittling this down. Just because. So you told me about this. But this jingle, I know that you kind of.
Yeah, huge shout out to Nine Finger. Nine Finger, they're fantastic. Actually, so I met.
What's the story of that?
Yeah, so Joshua Picard, big shout out to Joshua, who's a member of Nine Finger. I actually met him because I sold him a comic book on Facebook. He lives in Los Angeles. I live in the Bay Area, and I sold him a comic book. And then I told him about Vivi. I said, "Dude, you got to get involved in this stuff. This is really cool." And he got really excited about it. We ended up getting it. I have a group chat with family and friends, and he and I invited him in the group chat, so he's involved in that. And he told me, he said, and I told him about the podcast. We were just starting it, and he said, "If you need a jingle, let me know because I'd be happy to help with that." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's awesome. That's so cool." And he wrote it down on a napkin. And then he texted it over to me, and I sent him an audio message, which he actually still has, and he sent it to me recently. It was really, really special that he kept that. And it was basically me singing the jingle back, and it just clicked immediately. I'm like, this is unbelievable. And he recorded it with his band.
Your channel like 10,000 times. Like,
oh, thanks. Yeah,
it's like
shout
in my ear. Like,
yeah.
So
and it was crazy because actually he was able to get the song mixed by this incredible artist who's worked on like Metallica songs. So it's really cool. It was really cool, and he just did it out of the kindness of his heart. And we actually had a chance to see them live in Pacifica, which is near San Francisco. And we went up on stage and we got to sing with the song with them. It was a really special moment. It was a lot of fun.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys they've had a drink and they're having fun. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was great, man. It was so much fun. They're the best. Big shout out to Nine Finger.
Shout out. So, Sean, so you said you're actually you do film and stuff, but you cover I guess events as well, because I see you guys around all the time.
Yeah. So we've been blessed to be able to cover press for different Comic-Con events in San Diego and New York Comic-Con and LA Comic-Con. We were at Salt Lake City Fan Expo, which was a blast. We actually had a chance to meet the cast of Back to the Future, and I actually got here's actually something there. This is a second print of Back to the Future, and it's signed by Thomas F. Wilson, Michael J. Fox, and Christopher Lloyd. We had a chance to meet them. And got this graded by Rewind. Big shout out to Rewind. It was fun. It was really fun to be able to go to these different Comic-Con events. And we actually just went to Fan Expo. Wait, no, sorry.
Hey.
San Francisco Fan Expo. Yes, that's it. San Francisco Fan Expo. And we got to meet the cast of Lord of the Rings, which is really wild too. And we've been really excited about the VHS market, and we got some stuff signed by them too. So this is Elijah Wood, and this is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, and Sean Astin as well down at the bottom. And and this one right here, man, this is a pretty cool piece. This is a 4-year consideration screener of Return of the King, and it's signed by all 4 of the Hobbits and Andy Serkis.
Okay, I've got a random question for you. Yeah. Have you watched the entire extended edition in one go? You have?
Multiple times.
Did you go to the cinema and do it as well?
No, I didn't go to the cinema.
So there's this thing that we went to. We went to the cinema to watch all 3 extended editions. I don't know how long that was. I think that was close
in one day.
Yeah, in one sitting. So so basically
12 hours, probably 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah, people started to like they needed to have a shower after
Yeah. There's no intermissions.
It just popped in my head. No, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, again, I want to bring this around again because obviously it's not like I'm just starting out, but like do you have any tips for anybody? Because I think there is less and less what you call influencers, or people that are they put themselves in the public eye, whether they're posting or they're trying, they're putting content out. Like, I guess right now is like really hard to start. Like, I would attune to that. Like, you know we're seeing how many less numbers than we did 2 years ago, right?
Right.
I would say, I mean, that's a fact, right? Like,
Yeah.
participation and stuff. Do you have any tips if you were gonna start now, or whatever else, for people?
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
me.
it's like, yeah, yeah. I don't consider myself an influencer. I'm not a yeah. A content creator. That's what I consider myself,
Sure.
a content creator. And I like to create content to educate people. And I think really most importantly is just trying to find something that you're passionate about.
Hmm.
So find something you're passionate about. Um, really make it come from the heart. That's
Hmm.
really important. Sincerity, honesty, transparency, those are all really important things when you're creating content. It's
100%.
very important. So,
Yes.
yeah, just make sure you speak from the heart. And if you want to collaborate with anybody, just make sure they're on the same page as you. Just make sure they're on the same page and
Yes.
share the same philosophies that you do. And yeah, that's the most, and consistency is important too. That's very difficult.
Very
Especially
difficult.
when
Very.
especially when you're doing this for fun. um yeah,
Yes.
it's really important to try to be consistent.
See, that's funny, because I actually was like, some people go, well, you should do weekly DC comics or whatever, and I'm like, well, I don't know too much about these, like, it's gonna be like, well, I try to stick to what I know, and I look to you and my collectibles, and others, to
Big shout out to
what
my
you guys.
collectibles.
Yay. Shout
he's
out.
he's very impressive, man. He is so consistent, and that brings back what I mean
Yes.
by consistency. He's very
Yes.
consistent with his content, and it's so impressive to see the time and energy he puts into that. He's very, very impressive guy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's not easy at all. Like I
No.
said, when I started with this, I'm like, I just want to do things I like doing, but that doesn't mean, like, if there's a dead 3 weeks or whatever, and you're like, I don't really want to do anything.
Yeah.
I guess it's better if you're in a team as well, because I
Uh,
guess you're in a team, right? So, it is what it is, I think. Thank you for the
yeah.
tip, and thank you
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
everybody who creates content. Yeah, let's keep grinding. What can I say? Okay, I think we've covered a bit of these things, but I guess let's touch upon, where do you see Marvel at the moment? I guess we're gonna start getting spicy the last 20 minutes. It's always the case.
Yeah, it's interesting with Marvel right now because I they had a great decade of films, and they had a great storyline, and they brought out such amazing characters. And I think after that, they were kind of figuring out the storylines again and figuring out the characters and where this is going. Um, and I don't think the films really translated to a lot of people in the shows as much as they planned. But I know that Bob Iger has come out and said we're focusing on quality, not quantity. We want to take a step back. Since he's come back,
Mhm.
they're going to take a step back and just focus on their roots and what made them successful in the first place.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Do you think saturation came into it as well? Like, I think there's a ton, right? Since Avengers or whatever else, it's just there's so much content for superhero stuff as well. It might be a factor. Um,
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I know James Gunn was asked that. I mean, are people, do they have superhero fatigue? I think that's a really
yes.
interesting question, and I don't really think that people had fatigue. I think it's more about they couldn't resonate with the stories that were being released and the characters.
Hmm.
Um, Although I am very excited for a lot of the characters, I just think some of the stories kind of missed the mark a little bit. But I'm very excited. I'm very optimistic that they're going to turn things around, and especially with the Fantastic Four. I know that film is very sentimental to Kevin Feige and to the entire Marvel team, and I know that film, that's going to be a really big foundation moving forward for them. That movie, because those are the characters that started it all. For
I
Marvel.
really hope they get it right, as well, because
They have to. They have to
you
get
know
it
what I
right.
mean. Like,
There's no
after
room for error, unfortunately. Yeah.
yeah, yes, especially the space we're in as well. Like you've seen
Yeah.
things get stuttered, like if it's not right, like if
Yeah.
something like building in real time is scary. It is,
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Oh, you're saying hi. Oh. Very
Oh
cool guy.
yeah. Yeah. It was really fun, man. It was really fun talking to them about like the significance of the Academy screeners too. Cause there's only like this one, there's only a couple thousand of them produced. And the fact that they're still sealed, it just blows my mind that I was fortunate enough to buy one and then get it signed by the cast. It's crazy. I plan to get this one graded as well. It's a very exciting market, and that's the thing about VV2. It actually made me open my eyes back into collecting because I started collecting when I was a kid,
Hmm.
sports cards. I was diving through Beckett's. I don't know if anyone out there knows what Beckett's are, but they're essentially price guides that help you
Yeah.
understand value of cards that go up and down over time. And as a kid, I was investing in cards, sports cards, speculating on players, things like that. And it really had a deep impact on me. And comic books reemerged that love and that passion to invest in collectibles. And now I'm looking at different markets, like sealed video games. I'm very excited for the future of sealed media in general. Especially with the recent news of Best Buy, we anticipated this happening for a while. I didn't think it was going to happen this soon, but they announced that they're going to stop selling sealed media at Best Buy, which is going to it's a big deal because the things that we look at now and kind of take for granted are going to go away, and they're going to become nostalgic. They're going to become relics of the past. Surrounded in pop culture. That's the key, right? That's the key.
So when you were a kid, then let's rewind it back. What were your the things that you loved? And I know there's a lot to list, but I guess favorite movies, favorite toys, and then how did that evolve? Being where you are now.
Yeah, totally. No, sports cards were a big impact on me. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to play those action figures all the time. I've been able to get a set of those sealed. I'm very excited to own those because that's like my childhood. Turtles were huge. Batman. Yeah, and for films, Back to the Future is my favorite film of all time. So having a chance to meet the cast with my family was really, because my mom's favorite film was Back to the Future, and she transferred that love to me. So being able to be with her and actually meet them in person was a really special moment.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow, what can I say? I share that, especially Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm actually one of my real names is actually Raphael as well. Like it's one of my
Oh
names.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Fun fact.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, I remember it was just everywhere. My mom just bought it, and then because it was a funny twang, like it named me after it, and then it just buys me stuff with it. Back to the Future is fun too, for sure.
Yeah.
The doc, he doesn't seem to age. I don't know, he just stays the same. Doesn't he?
It was so funny meeting him. Very nice guy.
Yeah. Well, what happened?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, well, there was a few moments. There was one so I have a screener of Back to the Future 2, and the pen didn't attach to the actual plastic, and it started to fade, and it just came off like Thanos snapped his fingers, and everything the signature went to dust. It was crazy. So I went back to it was weird. So I went back to the booth. I used a Posca pen, which is a paint pen, and I went back to the booth and I talked to some of the people that worked there, and they're like, okay, no problem, we'll go back in line and do it again. And I was very fortunate because actually, the first time he signed it, it was really big print, and I was trying to get all 4 characters that were there, or 4 actors, and it went back, and I asked his manager. I said, "Can you ask him to sign it smaller right here?" And she looks at me and says, "Honey, good luck. Good luck. Try to explain that to him. Good luck." And I asked him. I was very polite about it, and he was super kind. And he's like, "Yeah, no worries, no problem." He signed it smaller, and yeah, it was a fun interaction, even just for a few minutes. We got to talk to Thomas F. Wilson a little bit too, and it was fun to talk to Thomas F. Wilson because he actually sold his personal collection of VHS tapes that were graded on Heritage auctions, and the Back to the Future, the first print, sold for $75,000. $75,000. And it was owned by him. And people were very excited about it. That was one of the first sales for a first print of Back to the Future, which there's less than 10 known copies today of that tape, which is pretty crazy.
Wow, that is insane. Oh, time is running, and we're having too much fun.
Round
Um,
two.
round two. We have to go. We have to go. I know we could just chill all day, Sean, but we can't. We have to dive in some juicy stuff, my friend.
Yeah.
So this. Okay. We know that. Well, tomorrow, guys. Hope you tune in. I'm going to be speaking to Spicy Tuna Roll from Candy. He's going to talk to us about the migration, and I know more details are going
Awesome.
to come. But the context of this story is people are worried that, um, you know, you're gonna remint or whatever to another to the. What's funny is it's actually palm to palm, so we don't even know if it's gonna get wiped. People are jumping to conclusions before the, in my opinion, before the actual people tell us what's gonna happen. People that saw the word reminting and they're like, oh, now Heroes
Right.
got FA, and then
Yeah.
VV people from VV were like, nope, I actually thought it was FA. Why are people fighting over FAs, and are we gonna see new FA verticals going on? I mean, I guess the whole industry, this currently there is no continuity, right? Someone raised it. It's like you release a collectible and then you jump, and then you kind of just compare it to real world values. What's your take on this right now? Like, whenever you do a video to say, okay, this is the real world equivalent, because people want to know, right? They tune in because they go, okay, what am I? Some people go, what am I investing? Is this a good investment? Almost, right? I know that was a lot, but I'll let you answer it. And I know we have to do something juicy. I know we've been chilling
Yeah.
for a long time,
Yeah.
but let's break this down. I know that was a lot.
Well, we look at the situation right now with Bat Cows and also the DC collectibles. They're going over to a different platform, but they're not even leaving the blockchain. So I'm not sure if they're necessarily going to be reminting. I will say that is a shame because if people paid a premium for a specific number and that number changes, that would put a bad taste in my mouth. That definitely hurts.
No, it'll be the same. They'll remake
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay, so the numbers doesn't change. Now, in terms of like changing across it's all in the blockchain, regardless. Like when VV went from, I think it was GoChain or what were they? It was GoChain, I think. They went from
Yeah,
GoChain
to
to Ethereum.
IMX.
Yeah. The
So
numbers. The numbers on VV didn't change, and I think that's what's going to be most important to people because that's the numbers they're going to see the most. But I do think that there's a possibility that people could put value on the actual number on the blockchain as well, and that could be just a different indication, a different way to differentiate value over time.
yes.
But I don't think it takes away from the numbers on VV because again, those are the numbers that you're going to see in the VV verse. Those are the numbers that people see every day, and I think that's what's most important, in my opinion, at least. But again, it's going to come down to the collectors. What do they value? And again, the most important thing is that there has to be a strong momentum behind this, right? A strong enough momentum for it to catch on and for people to put tremendous value on that idea. I mean, that's why low mint numbers caught on very early with VV, and it started to catch on different platforms as well, because it's a way of differentiating value, and people still to this day put tremendous value on lower mint numbers. But yeah, that's my opinion, at least on that. I hope that answered.
Well, I mean, I know there's a lot to unpack. I mean, for me, it's like you get blockchain purists that go, okay, it's the first in layer one, it's the first in layer two. Oh, like where is the Go chain data now? It's in IMX, so that means you can't prove it. So now this is the new FA, right? Because I hear everything, I remember all of it, and you kind of think, well, I mean, I try to peel this back and go, well, what was the collectible that got me into VV or to NFTs, for example? It was Todd. Like,
Yeah,
I
same.
don't, I don't know if this was in Go Chain or not, but at the end of the day, I knew that I purchased something. I managed to enjoy it. Like it's like
Yeah,
I had these moments. You're telling me it's not real. Like, it's so there is that flip side. And I think the funny thing is, obviously, some people are, when people come in, I kind of go, well, what's, and you probably do this as well, like, okay, what's this guy's biggest bag? Is this gonna be the way this guy is gonna conduct himself, or is this guy gonna be like, okay, there is this massive like string of opinions, let's hear it. Is it gonna improve the platform you're on potentially? You know what I mean? Is it gonna, because competition drives improvement, you know what I mean?
right.
But I would say, yeah, definitely time will tell for this one. Time will
Absolutely.
tell, and
Yeah,
wait for all the facts to be presented before you jump into making conclusions, I think.
right.
We have a lot more. We have a lot more, and I know we're running out of time. And I want to hear your thoughts on DC. And but next one, what's your stance on self custody? Has it changed at all recently from a user perspective? How big companies might be wary? So I'm talking self custody for, let's say, VV or Palm, or just in general. Have you, since we last spoke, have you had a change of mind or desire, or have you seen a sentiment shift?
It's interesting because Spencer and I are kind of indifferent on this topic. Spencer, he's very much I guess you can consider like a purist, a Web3 purist. He wants to put things on his wallet. He wants to put things on his drive. But at the same time, for me, it's like, I mean, people say you can't take your collectible out of Walmart. I mean, for Vivi, for example, I can take it with me worldwide. I mean, I understand that perspective to an extent, but at the same time, I don't have to get insurance for all my physical collectibles. I have to get insurance for all this stuff. For digital, I'm just carrying it in my phone with me anywhere I go. Like that's incredible. But I also think that people, they have different ideas of how they want to sell things and how they want to use them. And I know it's a bit limited right now in VV, but I do think that'll probably change over time. And a lot of it too has to come down to the licensors, and what they want to do, because they still own the IP. They still own the IP. Again, I have to emphasize that it's just the IP, but you own the collectible.
Yeah. And,
But
and like,
yeah,
yeah, we could go on for an hour just in this topic, right?
totally.
But ultimately, yeah, and I would say I wouldn't even put my opinion in it. And this is your opinion, this you're my guy. So yeah, we could move on. I mean, I'm really, really tempted to make my own stamp at this, but because I have different desires, obviously.
Yeah.
I think,
People. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I think it's just if evolution happens I think it's like this, right? People could be in the same space for 2 years, not care about it, but have circumstances happen, like their account gets locked, like I did.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and the loss of control, obviously, is a thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like, well, if you bought something from the store, yes, the government could take it away from you, but at the same time, you know what I'm trying to say, like
Yeah.
if you bought like a disc, then that disc is yours until someone robs it, obviously physically. But if it's an Amazon account you got locked out of, you won't be able to get that video back. So
Right.
I
Right.
think I think I don't even underestimate how I think Vivi listens to that. I'm sure they hear it, like, you know what I mean. So I'm not going to go there, but it's just I think there's factors at play, like the licensors, as you said. I mean, are they really
100%.
willing to let go of the royalty fees?
Exactly. Yeah.
Are they willing to let go of this potential profits and stuff? But it is interesting. The only thing I'll drop, obviously, is that that's been definitely promised, reiterated again in the last 52 days for DCNFT or Candy. So it is something I want to see everywhere, regardless of how important you place it.
Yeah.
I hope they do work it out, with the licensors and stuff. I know a lot of people feel strongly about it now. Whether or not it's a way to vent for the current prices, I don't know. It might be correlated to that. Like, you just don't know. Like, there's a lot of factors behind it. But
I'm glad that you brought that up too. The fear of getting your account blocked, because we've seen that on VV. That's happened to you,
yes.
and it's happened to me too. And that I can understand why people are concerned if that it continues to happen. I mean, the idea of your account being blocked and you lose all your assets, that's not self-control. That's not self-custody. You can't, that's out of your control, and that's not okay. So I think as long as that fear is gone, I think people will be more comfortable having them on the platforms. And man, I'm honestly, but I'm still kind of new to MetaMask and all that. Like, I know people who get their wallets drained all the time, and that's terrifying. That's terrifying. For me, that's I'm not comfortable with that. I'd much rather have my stuff on Vivi, but again, everyone's different. Everyone's different. They have different goals and feelings towards this stuff, and hopefully that the options will change over time. But I think what you mentioned earlier, especially when it comes down to licensors and the royalties, that's probably the biggest thing right now. And they're still trying to figure out this market in general. You know, like what are yeah.
It'd be interesting for me if they find a way to actually have it in your wallet that you can be taken away, but also implement royalties for their like. And I think it's very technical, but I think it's just opening up the realm of possibilities as well. Like, if I said this, if an alien race came on and they had a superior technology, that suddenly our digital collectibles will really, really be like we'll see them as real or whatever. I don't know. I would move to that blockchain, like like
Yeah,
and I think it's just one of those things that we just have to be, we have to learn how to evolve, and especially when we're going into this digital age, as you said it. I really I want to catch up with you again at some point, like see if
yeah,
see what happens if this does happen, and you got a bit more comfortable, the technology gets better. I think a lot of it's to do with education. I just wanted to
totally.
spice this up, man. Ooh, okay. Where do you see Vivi in like 2, 5, 10 years, do you think? Because I think a lot of us are wondering too, like
Yeah, I mean, they're still doing fantastic. They're still selling out drops. I mean, for comics, especially the one this morning sold out. You know, so in the collectibles, it can be hit or miss in terms of sales, but I do think that we're still so new in this, and once people start to understand these digital collectibles and what they can do, I think they're going to be really excited about the future of this stuff and the idea of digital ownership. I think digital ownership is the future. You know, and I'm don't I'm not discrediting physical collectibles because I mean, you told me I'd be collecting VHS tapes. You'll be like, you're crazy a year ago, a year and a half ago, and now I'm all about it. I'm so pumped for it. So I'm excited for both the physical and digital collectible space. But I understand the digital side, especially because of its accessibility, giving people opportunities to collect things that they never would have a chance to collect. So I think once that technology catches up, you can display these things. I mean, I was over at a party the other day with, and one of their kids actually was playing with my phone. He didn't even heard of Eevee, and he was so excited about it, playing with Spider-Man in AR, and he played with it for like 4 hours. No joke, 4 hours. He was running around, showing people, taking photos, and he understood how to use the app immediately. This kid was like 6 or 7 years old, and I didn't have to teach him anything. It was amazing. And it's still kind of complicated for me. And he's like showing me how to run things. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. So when the technology catches up and these kids can actually enjoy them without the iPhone, that's going to be a game changer.
Okay, I have a bunch more questions. I don't know if you could spare me an extra 10 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, awesome, thank you. So no, with just to finish off with VV2, I mean there is a lot of like licenses there. They've got a lot of backers, and I guess it's just about it. For me, I would like to see the delivery. You know what I mean? Like with a lot of the promises. I think,
Mhm. Yeah.
like I'll be honest. I know people that, and I do as well. Like I still hold stuff in there, and I don't really. And having a platform not do well, like going full recur and nifties, like
Mhm.
shit, man. There is
Yeah.
no other way to put it. It's terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to happen to Candy. I wouldn't fucking want it to happen to Vivi. Like to be honest,
Of course.
it'd be like people will go, yeah, you knew it was a scam, like and then you're like, well, you fucking lost wherever you were. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to zoom
Well,
out. But it
I'm
is what
definitely
it
not
is.
going to connect to anything that DC's related to or Disney's related to a scam, and Disney just announced that they're going to start selling digital pins, which are a huge deal at the parks. And I've talked about this for a while. It's only a matter of time before they start selling, digital collectibles at the parks using
Mhm.
geolocation. And it's going to be a whole new avenue of collecting. And especially since they're making so much money on the back end selling these things and getting commission off every single resale, that's a really big deal. And they're growing in this space.
Mhm.
It's not a it's not a scam. It's
No,
not a
it's true.
scam.
Sean, I know we have a lot to go through. I'm gonna fire 3, 4 questions at you. DCNFT moving to the Candy platform. Do you have any concerns? There are things you don't like that you want to change. What things are you hopeful for the Backhouse project and DCNFTs? And then for the last 5 minutes, we're gonna do our top tens in DCNFTs. to compare within each other what our tastes are. This is gonna be great. I haven't told you, but I have a spreadsheet open. We're gonna do it. But first of all, just to finish off, yeah, go ahead. Do you have anything, any concerns, so that the team can watch this tomorrow and be like, okay, we can address it? Go.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I have necessarily any concerns. I'm just more excited about what kind of new opportunities that are going to arise by going to Candy. You know,
Mhm.
I really want to see mint numbers. That's my personal take on
That's
that. I
happening.
want to see the opportunity to search for collectibles, make trades.
Make trades.
That's also a really big deal. Yeah, because we're seeing that we said that in the black on the wax blockchain. You can do that. You can make offers for trades, and you can make offers for just in general, not just trades, but also for costs and prices. That's a really big deal to be able to search for mint numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and users.
that's one I want to see. Yeah,
Yeah. So messaging users, like maybe you could say, "Do I want to be messaged? Yes,
message.
no." Do I want
Yeah,
offers? Yes.
yeah,
No. Like,
totally.
do I want to receive
Yeah,
offers? Yes, no. That kind of thing. That would
exactly.
be cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. I mean, obviously, the website was the glitchiest thing, but it presented a lot of opportunities for myself and others that bear to put up with it, like the hunters, the snipers. By the end of the day, it's gonna change, and I hope it's gonna be slick. I'm sure you. Is there other things that you didn't like that you wanted to change? Um,
I mean,
yeah.
right off the top of my head, I can't think of anything specific, but I do enjoy. It is pretty. I mean, it's pretty easy to use the DC platform. I mean, I can just use my credit card and buy a collectible. Signing up is really easy as well. I mean, I tell my parents, I just go on and buy this, and they can do it. I don't have to explain things to them. I think that's a pretty big. And my parents aren't really technology savvy, so the fact that they can go on there and figure it out themselves is a really big deal. So I definitely think they're in the right direction, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement
Yeah.
in terms of connection with the
Rest
community.
in peace. Rest in peace, DCNFT. I missed it. I lived there, for 2 years.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
gonna be
gonna be.
fun though, because everybody who's into candy will now, understand and see this stuff, and Candy's doing some really cool stuff. I mean, I think that the movie props is a really cool idea, a really cool idea. Like they scanned high res movie props from Stranger Things, and they sold limited editions of those. And I think it's a really cool idea, and I think that could really catch on, especially with bigger films and bigger IP.
Hmm. Okay. Anything for cows? Because I know that there was a rumor flying around that because now we get early access, we get low mints, and but because Palm, didn't Palm wanted us to focus on the story, you know what I mean, and what the collectibles, how they tied up and stuff, the art and everything else, that they decided not to go for mint, but now Palm's going to Candy, and Candy has mints. So the worry was we're gonna lose early access because now Candy's gonna have packs, comic packs. So I don't know if you knew, but basically they're thinking of comic packs and everything that, so you'll have mints on the packs. So if you had early access, you'd be like you can have a mint zero pack, but then when you open the pack, it's a different mint and rarity.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that? My thoughts are they should put a higher chance in back cows to have premium packs, which have better rarities. Maybe a 50% chance if you have a back cow. I think it needs to go in back to the back cows. What are your thoughts? Just maybe
I'm
in
trying to.
general, this topic or
Yeah,
not? Mm,
I think at least I don't know if necessarily giving you a better opportunity to get lower mint numbers, but at least giving you an opportunity to at least have access to these things and have a chance to buy one. Because especially if it's a really popular comic or something that's going to sell out immediately, pretty much guaranteeing me that I can have an opportunity to buy one. It's a really big deal. But we said on the wax blockchain too with Funkos.
mhm.
Funko digital packs. We see that I've bought a few of those as well. I bought a Back to the Future one recently, and I was able to get 2 legendaries in there, which can be redeemed for physical Funkos, which are really cool. And it was like $20. So, and it's also really interesting too because you can actually buy a pack and you don't have to open it, and it does have numbers.
Yes, and you can
So
resell it,
it's in yeah, and you can
and
resell
it's
it.
got its own mint number.
That's
I also
really cool.
I also said, like, what if you could put your own back cows at the back, like like actually make it collectible, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. That'd be cool for me. I have
Yeah.
sentimental value in this stuff. Okay, so for cows, sorry, before we move forward, So you didn't care because obviously cows get early access. Like if you were there 2 minutes or a minute or 30 seconds in, you get lower mints. You see, with your back cow, we're not gonna get that anymore per se. You get a low mint pack. What are your thoughts on that? Um, Maybe get back to me if you think about anything. But
Hmm.
because obviously I think we're gonna lose that. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think there needs to be a way to bring something back to the cows just because we might lose that. DC or have Candy if you're watching. You don't have a thought in it. I keep pushing it.
Well,
Um,
I'm aside from the packs and stuff. I'm just excited for what kind of like in real life events they're gonna have, in the future.
okay.
Ways that they're going to connect the films coming out. I mean, there's gonna be so much opportunity there, especially with all these amazing films being released by James Gunn and DC Films. So I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of opportunity for Bat Cows to really do something special with all these incredible films coming out. And I really hope that they just focus in on the Bat Cows. I know there's probably other opportunities to create other NFT projects too, but I
Yeah.
think Bat Cows is really special.
Yeah,
And
we want to see like bits. Like for example, I don't know if you knew like I'm thinking sub collection crafting like bat suits, Batmobiles
totally,
that look like your bat cow. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
like
yeah,
yeah, like have a physical Bat Cow. I mean, even in AR, being able to
yeah.
wear your Bat Cow and wear a suit that you can actually have in the future
They're
too.
working on that. They're working on that.
Oh, oh, really? The suit thing?
They, no, they
You heard it
That's
here
what I
first.
heard. That's what I heard.
Like
but
that's
I
cool. That's
I
cool.
heard that they're exploring physicals as well, the physical equivalent of your backup. Can you imagine having a one of one physical come
Yeah,
in? Like
that's crazy. Yeah,
I'm talking like one of one physical, like
yeah,
serialized DC logo at the back. Shit,
super
man. Like
special.
seriously, I don't think we've seen anything yet. Like the physical merch,
Uh,
I think they know what they want. What we want.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm rushing it. Two more points. We got 4 minutes, but what are the things that you're hopeful to see, like comics? Because we said like AC-127. You said that you don't want to see it for a while, but now we've seen Batman 1 and we've seen what it's done. Right? People don't have liquidity, like, or I don't know what's happened. What are your thoughts in this? What do you want to
I
see?
mean
What are you hoping for?
that just creates opportunity, right? I mean, we're seeing these really significant grails sell for relatively low prices, in my opinion. If you're going to reference back to when digital comics first started to drop, I think there's just a lot of opportunity, and I mean, I personally, and this is my personal opinion, never financial advice. I feel blessed to be a part of this experience, to be a part of these drops, because we're going to look back in 20 years and say, wow, I was a part of that drop with some of these massive grails that I kind of took I took
People.
for
It
granted,
wasn't selling out, right? As well.
and it wasn't selling out. But we heard the same thing. Remember with Spider-Man when that dropped on Vivi, it didn't even sell out. And then we've gotten to the bull run and things took off. But yeah, it's the same thing with these comics. These are really special, especially the Golden Age comics, because there's not a lot of Golden Age. I mean, there is a lot of Golden Age Marvel comics, but like Captain America comics #1 is what I'm really excited about. But there's a lot more significant Grail comics for DC than there are Marvel, in my opinion. And
Is there any one that you want to see in particular?
I mean, Action Comics #1. That's like, I mean, that's and there
That's
you go.
like the
That's
end
like,
game, right? That's
yeah,
the end game. Right?
that's the end game. Yeah, yeah. But there's a really Wonder Woman #1 is being released soon. That's a really cool comic as well. That's a very significant comic. I mean,
Yeah.
that one, I need to double check the recent sale for that one, but I believe that's a $500,000 to $1 million comic
Mm.
in its highest grade. So, a lot of these are very significant comics. I mean, when I call a comic a grail, I consider it from an investment perspective.
Let's go, Michael.
Oh, nice. Congrats. That's awesome. Yeah, my collectibles. That's awesome. Congrats. And this is something I came up with myself, but when I say a comic is a grail, it's worth $500,000 or more in its highest grade in physical format. So that's how I view comics grails, at least. And that's from me as an investor in this stuff.
Mm. Oh my God. I realize as well, I didn't say on this one is like, imagine if we do crafting and we get stuff in our crafts. And I know I'm sounding random, but imagine one day like we got these assets and actually when they're ready to go into metaverse or a game, they're gonna go into multiple metaverses and games. And then you have
Right.
there's just so many things that's coming, guys. Right, let's finish off with this. I don't know if you have one ready, but let's do our top tens, like you and me. Let's go.
Yeah. You
Um,
want to go first? I
um,
have
We go start from.
I-
Oh no, this is hard, man.
Yeah,
I know.
I didn't prepare for this.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I'll go first. I'll go first.
There you go. Yeah, let's just. Oh,
I'm just gonna start
Yeah.
from my number one.
why don't you just we'll go through yours. Yeah.
Yes,
And then next time I come back on, I can go through mine.
No, you have to tell me something now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the. I won't be able to do a top 10 right now, but I can. Yeah, list off a couple that I'm excited about.
Okay, can you list your top 3 at least in the platform?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Okay,
Superman
go ahead.
number 1.
Number 1. Okay.
I think actually we'll see. Superman number 1. Let's see. I mean, I'm not. This is no particular order at all.
Okay. Okay.
But I love Detective Comics 38. That's the first appearance of Robin.
This, right? Is he not ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
And
It's
I also
perfect. You're not ready. It's perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
I really love Showcase number 4. That's one I love as well. It's the first Silver Age appearance of the Flash. That's a character we're probably going to see very often in James Gunn's universe, and same with Robin as well. And those are very, very significant characters. So very excited for those for sure. But I'm totally down to come back on. We can do a more in-depth breakdown of our top 10s, and I can have this more prepared.
Okay, so should we leave this here as a suspense?
Yeah.
Then?
And this is in no particular order. I'm definitely going to rework mine, but yeah. We actually did a video of our top 10 comics, digital comics on both VV and DC. We've done a video on that before, which is really fun. But yeah, there's a lot of great comics right now in DC, and there's still more to come.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you do a list, obviously, do you base it off of real world value, or I was asking Sean's favorites because this is more your sentimental value. Which is mine. My reasoning anyway. Guys, I hope you enjoy this chat. I mean, we've just been rambling. I literally we've jumped from point to point, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sean, I enjoyed having you so much, dude. Like, time
so much fun, Prez. I appreciate you so much, Prez.
Yeah, thank you, man. Like, thank you for everything you do, and I appreciate you.
Likewise, brother.
Yeah, man. And I hope to see you again soon.
100%. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna be doing a charity auction.
Yes.
Starting in like a week or two.
Okay.
And I'm very excited to announce that it's going to be on eBay. We're doing a charity auction, so just be on the lookout for that charity auction. The details with that auction. It's a collaboration with a really special person. So very excited to make an announcement on that in the very near future.
I think I can guess, but yes.
Yeah. Announcements coming soon.
Yeah. Hashtag soon. All right, dude. No, thanks for hanging out with me. What can I say?
Thank you, Prez. And thanks everybody for watching. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Let's keep spreading love, I guess. What can I say? This is what we could do, right? That's all we could do. So yes. Keep it together. Let's keep it together, guys.
That's awesome.
Keep it together. Let's keep it together. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.